front of you is a 2009 Volkswagen Passat with 74,000 miles. Now, the Passat was originally introduced in Germany in 1972 as a small two-door wagon, and has since grown over time. In Germany, it is usually referred to as like a B1, B2, and excessive, and now it is currently up to the B8 model after being remodeled 8 times in the various generations. Now, the Passat was initially introduced in America in the 70s, and then it was known as the Dasher like during that time frame, and then in the 1980s it was renamed to the Quantum. Now, the Passat name originally stuck in America in 1990 and has been a pretty popular selling model ever since. The Passat, this current generation, was remodeled in 2011 and sold a record of 117,000 in 2013, but that number has slowly dwindled to 60,000 in 2017. And since the dwindling numbers and they want to increase their business sales, Volkswagen plans to remodel the Passat in 2020. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to take you around the Passat, show you its cool features, do the interview section, and then score it at the end and compare it to my other videos. Stay tuned.
And before I begin, as a point of reference, here is the Passat when it originally debuted in the 70s in Germany. Here is the modern, flashy B8 edition in the wagon form. Here is the Dasher from the 1970s. And this is the Quantum from the 1980s. Now, on with the video.
Starting off with the Passat's weird features is the key. Unlike normal cars before the push-button ignition started to become a popular commodity in vehicles, Volkswagen did not use the initial key system like the normal other keys. Instead, they had this little like battery RAM charging input thingy. It's almost like a large flash drive, but it's kind of cool. You have your lock button, your trunk button, the unlock, and your panic. Weird feature, but still kind of cool. Another cool feature about the Passat, when you open up the door, they have this little open gap right here, which is available for you to store your umbrella or any other small item you wish to put in there and just hold. Unlike most other vehicles, they have just a blank door panel, but Volkswagen decided to utilize the extra space properly and give you a nice little feature if you don't want to store your wet umbrella in the back seat and maybe get some stuff in the back wet. So it's a nice little touch on behalf of Volkswagen. Another cool feature about the Passat, unlike most other vehicles, like in a typical trunk, you would have your latch, as most of you know, or you use a button on your key to open the trunk. However, Volkswagen has a cool little feature where if you take the logo and push it upward, the trunk opens up nice and simple, which is kind of cool, unlike most vehicles. Nice little touch by Volkswagen to show them the logo to open your trunk. Moving into the interior of the Passat, the first thing you should notice is that the headlights are almost like a pickup truck's, having a turn dial here to turn on the headlights. Another cool thing in the Passat, there's not one, but there are 2 glove compartments. You have your larger one where it typically is on the passenger side of the interior, but in case you wanted to store coins, other tiny little items in here, you can store them right here beside the driver's side, which gives you easy access while driving since the steering wheel is right in front of you. Nice little feature by Volkswagen to include in case you needed to put items and needed to grab them for a quick minute or two. One peculiar feature about the Passat is the total amount of blank switches on the center right here. You have your gear shifter right here, but there's only 2 buttons and 4 blank switches devoted to absolutely nothing. It's a bit irritating for blank switches. I know they're in like most vehicles, but they could have just taken like 2 large buttons and put them on either side instead of leaving 4 buttons blank for no obvious reason, which is just kind of dumb. One other peculiar feature about the Passat, if you want to open your fuel door or the trunk, in normal vehicles, the fuel door thing is right here by where the hood release is. However, in the Passat, you have these 2 little buttons wedged underneath the hood, almost like window controls for your fuel tank and for your trunk latch, which is usually down here by the hood thing. But Volkswagen decided to integrate them almost like a window control, as you see up here. It's a weird feature, but not a bad one. It's just different on behalf of Volkswagen. Now that the car is running, you can see the various things on the infotainment screen. You have your FM, AM radio controls, your CD thing, various playlet outlets. Turn the radio by a simple touch of the button, and the radio is instantly on. This little nozzle right here controls the volume. As you can hear the lovely nothing on the radio. Right here you have your heating and cooling controls. Just raise it up simply, like lower it for cool, raise it for heat. Nice simple controls. You have your fan settings numbered 1 through 4 and how vigorously you want the fan to blow on you. It can go to a small hurricane, and a wind tunnel on the highest setting, to a nice subtle breeze if you want it on 1 or 2. And over here you have your defroster features, the direction where you want the air to flow, and other various things as well. And right on the steering wheel, the Passat Volkswagen gives you a plentiful amount of features as well. You have your availability to make calls. You have the raise and lower button if you want to raise or change the radio station, the volume or whatever. Your select button and various other options on here as well. Right here you have your old-fashioned speedometer with the fuel tank gauge in the middle, time, temperature, and mileage. Your rev rate and RPMs right here, the temperature as well. And then on the steering wheel you have your turn signal stock and a whole lot of other features, which is not the best thing. It's kind of cluttered up here, as you can see, down there. And as well, the Volkswagen Passat has a couple nice little storage options, a whole lot of area right there for change, as you can see. 2 cup holders right here and 2 other small little areas if you want to just put some coins or other tiny little objects right there in the middle. And you have a small center console, but it's a decent amount of space to store stuff within the interior. Since it's a sedan, you're not going to get something huge, but it's just a nice amount of space and a nice, friendly, economical car. Another nice feature about the Passat, as you can see, you have these 2 little overhead dome lights as if you were on a plane. Simple touch of a button, and both of them come on like so. Turn them off with the same ability. And then this little dial right here in the middle is your sunroof control, which acts almost instantaneously. I turn the little dial, you can hear it whoosh open, like so. Very nice little feature. And then if you want to close it, bring it right back to the middle part where there's the close button and the sunroof was shut. Very simple and easy to use sunroof feature. Pretty nice. Moving into the rear of the Passat, you have these nice cushiony leather seats that Volkswagen offers you with a pretty basic pattern, but it's still pretty nice. They're nice and soft opposed to cloth seats, and they're not stiff. They're not huge seats, but they're still rather comfortable and tolerable for a semi-long road trip by all means. As well, in the back of the Volkswagen Passat, you have your charging outlet back here, which stays open when you flip it open, unlike the Hondas that I have filmed. And then it stays open, and then just shut it with a nice, simple flap. One thing about most German vehicles, though, they are not known for having the best cup holders. As you can see right here, you can just take this and open it, press it down firmly, and the cup holders will eject like so, but these may be the weirdest shaped cup holders I have ever seen in my entire life. If you put a cup here, it's just very flimsy and just cheap cup holders on behalf of Volkswagen. It's a very odd feature. It's hard to put back too, as you can see, but and it like locks shut. It's almost like a little like cafeteria tray that just whirs open or something like that, but just very flimsy cup holders on behalf of Volkswagen. And storage-wise, in the back seat of the Passat is reasonable. It's okay. You have 2 pouches on each of the rear seats. You have your handle to shut the door with when closing it. But one thing I like about the Passat in the back, say you have a water bottle like so, all you do is you slide it in here, and it falls into the slot like so, or it could lean against the rack as well. Nice little feature for storing your beverages. And then, as always, you have your window controls right here. And then it's a very basic back interior to the Passat. And it is now time for the interview section, where I run through the 5 generic questions one would ask when purchasing a vehicle and give my own thoughts on it. The first question is, do I like the vehicle overall? And honestly, I don't like or dislike the Passat. It's just a very basic sedan, and it's an okay car, so I have a very neutral position towards it, in all honesty. Question number 2 is, what is my favorite part about the vehicle? And I don't know how anyone's favorite part about the Passat could not be the logo on the trunk when you push it and it just whirs open for you. That's just a cool feature. It's cool how you can just like push the logo and like it just whirs open. Like I wish more cars had that. It's cool. And it's like marketing. It's like integrating your logo and using it. It's a good touch by Volkswagen. Question number 3 is, what is my least favorite part about the vehicle? And it is the amount of blank switches right here. The blank switches I like despise in any vehicle, regardless of what it is. That I mentioned that frequently in the Pilot and the Accord video. I know most brands use them, but I feel like if you're going to integrate something and make it look nice and smooth and flowing, don't put blank switches because it just looks kind of stupid, and to put it bluntly. Question number 4 is, what is the most outlandish or interesting part of the Volkswagen Passat? It is the umbrella holder, as I previously mentioned. It's just different. Like, the only other brands that usually use this are like very updated like Rolls-Royce models, and to see this on a car that costs under like $30,000 or so, it's pretty crazy. But it's nice. Smart thinking by the Germans. And question number 5 is, would I ever want/own the vehicle? And to put it honestly, no. I mean, I am not a car person. I am a truck person and an SUV person. Nothing against the Passat, but I would not have any personal desire to own one myself. But if you want a practical, economical car that'll last you well, it's pretty decent gas mileage, very good car to consider. So getting behind the wheel of the 2009 Volkswagen Passat, instantly you notice it is a very smooth driving vehicle. German engineering, they know how to make cars nice and smooth and just, it's a nice gentle ride. The steering wheel is very smooth. You don't have to hit the pedals that firmly. Like, comparing this to the Honda Accord that I drove, the Accord, I felt like I was like slamming my foot to the bottom of the ground to get the car to move at all. This is just a nice gentle tap, and it's not overbearing. It's nice and it's just easy to drive. The brakes on this thing feel good. The steering's nice and loose. And the one thing that's very nice too, like, it's a 4-cylinder, but the engine is just, it's nice and quiet. You're like, if you're like tired in the morning, you're just going to work, going to wherever, you're not gonna be you're not gonna be aggravated by a loud, like, cumbersome engine sound. It's just a nice, smooth gliding ride along the road as you go. And Volkswagen and other German cars, they are very good with the whole concept of smooth driving. And the leather seats feel extremely comfortable. I just made a very sharp turn, and it took it nice and easily. Nothing fierce, you're in position. You're not like sliding. It's not a very stiff car either. Just a nice gentle ride. And I'm not like, it doesn't feel like loose. Like I said, like, it's a nice, like, smooth car. It doesn't feel loose to the extent where it's like I don't have control. It's just a nice, very easily handling car. It's just smooth and simple. It's just nice. Good driving experience. I've never driven a German car before. It's the first one I've ever driven, but it is a lot smoother than both Hondas and the pickup truck that I own. So yeah, nice.
Now that we have analyzed the Passat's interesting characteristics, it is time to evaluate it on the lemonless scale. Before I begin, though, I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to my friend Mike for letting me borrow his Passat to use it in this video. And a fun fact in case anybody of you cared, Passat means trade winds in German, so if you see a Passat cruising down the highway, you can go, oh look, it's a Volkswagen trade wind. Nonetheless, let's begin. Starting with exterior for the Passat, it's okay. It's a basic sedan, nothing too flashy and crazy, but not horrendously ugly, so it gets a 4 out of 10. Interior is a little better than the exterior in my opinion. It's simple, it's nice, nothing too outlandish, but just kind of basic, so it gets a 5 out of 10. The road trip is pretty decent. The leather seats are pretty comfortable. They're not, extremely silky where you just like sink in and just like sleep in, but it's not bad. It's very tolerable, so it gets a 6 out of 10 for the road trip. MPG is pretty solid on the Passat. Nothing outlandish, just very basic as everything else. 24 miles per gallon combined city and highway, so it gets a 5 out of 10 on the miles per gallon scale. Storage on the Passat is pretty solid. It's got a decent sized trunk. It's got the full back seat. You can seat up to 5 people. It's not bad, so we get a 6 out of 10. Character on the Passat is extremely low. It's a generic sedan. Nothing you're gonna be wowed about, so we got the 2 out of 10 for the character. Wish list is not too bad. There's not a whole lot of things I can wish for. Maybe just a little bit of better, like more up-to-date technology, less blank switches in the interior, a little more just liveliness. But the Passat's not meant to be some outlandish and prestigious sedan. It's just supposed to be basic, so we get the 6 out of 10 on the wish list. Handling's actually very well. It is the best handling vehicle I've ever driven, in my opinion. It was very smooth to drive. The turning was great. It was pretty responsive as soon to your touch, so it gets a 6 out of 10 for handling. Excitement is also very low in the Passat, like I've mentioned numerous times already. It is a generic sedan, nothing too crazy, so it gets a 2 out of 10 for the excitement. Stupidity on the Volkswagen Passat is pretty solid. Like I said in all my other videos, the higher stupidity, the less stupid it is. The blank switches were a little dumb.
And just the cup holders in the back were kind of faulty. Those were a little weird. So I get the 7 out of 10 for the stupidity. Price on the Volkswagen Passat is pretty decent. You're going to get a pretty, not as strongly reliable as a Honda, but a pretty fairly reliable car for not too bad of a price. Decent gas mileage, we'll get the 7 out of 10. Engine responsiveness as well. The Passat, like I've mentioned, is extremely quick to your response. It's not sluggish. It's just simple. The 2-liter the 2-liter 4-cylinder. It cruises down the highway nicely, and it's just a nice, smooth vehicle to drive. And overall amenities, it's nothing. It's not lacking. It's not like flourishing in them either. It's just generically basic. So overall, it's a 5 out of 10 for overall amenities. Add all those up for a grand total of 67 out of 130. Divide that by 13 is 5.15, which places the Passat into second place out of the 4 vehicles I reviewed, falling 4 points shy of the lead behind the 2004 Ford F-150 Lariat, and 5 points ahead of the Honda Pilot, who got third. Nonetheless, nice vehicle overall. Recommended for people who are interested in a generic car. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for what is in store. Thank you.